Is Chuck Hagel the right choice for Secretary of Defense? It's certainly not the easiest one. The president expected nomination has already been drawing fire from lawmakers, and it could be a tough confirmation battle. The 66-year-old former Republican senator is a decorated Vietnam veteran, but he broke with his party over the war in Iraq. He's also facing tough criticism from members on both sides over his stances on Israel and Iran, and a decade-old comment about a former ambassador who is also gay. Joining me now, former State Department officer Joel Rubin, who worked closely with Hagel both when he was in the Senate and at the Anti-Nuclear Weapons Plowshares Fund. Good to see you, Joel. Good morning.
Great to be here.
Besides Republican opposition, Capitol Hill sources tell Chuck Todd that there are as many as 10 Democratic senators who could vote no. Why do you think the president has decided to nominate Chuck Hagel, in spite of the fact that it looks like that there could be a fight?
Well, Chris, Chuck Hagel is a great pick. He's in the mainstream of American foreign policy. He has a very strong record. And as you mentioned, I served in the Senate alongside, as a Democratic staffer, alongside him and his staff. We worked closely at staff level on veterans bills, on military bills, supporting health care for military servicemen and women. And his word was his bond, a very effective legislator, and really someone that the president can trust to guide us in the next 4 years. This is a very difficult period for our country. National security challenges are strong overseas, and with a fiscal dilemma here at home, he can address both those issues.
So as somebody who knows him very well, when he sits down, and obviously a lot of the folks he knows and has worked with who will be saying yay or nay on his confirmation. But for example, Senator John Cornyn of Texas told the Daily Beast that Hagel, quote, "The worst possible message we could send to our friend in Israel and the rest of our allies in the Middle East." How do you think he will respond to critics who say that he is not strong enough on the relationship between the United States and Israel?
These are charges that we just heard in November, leveled against President Obama, saying that he would throw Israel under the bus. The American Jewish community in exit polls voted 70% for Obama. They didn't believe those arguments. There are a variety of former American ambassadors to Israel, leading Israelis, leading Jewish commentators. I myself write for a Jewish newspaper at my hometown. There is significant support for Chuck Hagel and his positions, and these are really not fair charges. He has a track record of supporting sanctions on Iran, tough diplomacy with Iran. That will all come through in the hearings.
In addition, gay rights groups have also expressed opposition because of the comments he made just a little over a decade ago about American Ambassador to Luxembourg, James Hormel, who is gay. I know he has apologized for these comments, but what are your thoughts about that? Because there are still a number of gay rights advocates who have serious concerns about Chuck Hagel.
Well, this is a watershed moment in our country where now the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy has been repealed, and Chuck Hagel has recognized the wisdom of that, came out forcefully with a response saying that he rejected what he said in the past, and has been accepted by Chad Griffin and others. Steve Clements, who's notable in Washington on foreign policy, has argued that Hagel is pro-gay and very committed to these issues. So this will again wash out in the discussions, and likely this is going to be a touchstone in the near term, but hopefully as the commentary goes forward, people will see that Chuck Hagel is the right man for the job.
And we talked about the Democrats who have some concerns of their own. There's a new Politico article that cites a Senate Democratic official as saying this, quote, "I don't think Dems just fall in line. Ultimately, he may be confirmed, but at this stage, his fate is totally up in the air. He will really have to work hard to overcome some of his previous statements and positions." And I'm wondering if you take us inside again that confirmation room. For most Americans who may not know Chuck Hagel very well, who's the person they're going to see? What will be his demeanor when he's answering some of these tough questions?
They're going to see an American hero, someone who won 2 Purple Hearts, an enlisted man in Vietnam, a man who has shrapnel still in his chest. They're going to see someone who speaks truth to power and is very frank. You know, he received an 84% rating from the American Conservative Union. Very conservative, very Republican. They're going to see him as an independent thinker, and really it's a show that President Obama is serious about having a bipartisan, inclusive foreign policy, and that's what Americans want to see.
Joel Rubin, a good friend clearly to Chuck Hagel. It's good of you to come on the program. Thank you so much.
Thanks for